Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? This is Erick from Fast Human, and here it is Sunday morning. It has been a while, and so I wanted to come over and be able to say cheers for this Sunday morning and having a black coffee. But I know I haven't been able to jump into the podcast like I wanted to. I have been crazy busy with work and my schedule a little bit tight with a lot of things going on with family and and basically trying to make the most out of it and understanding what am I going with the podcast, right? So I want to apologize to my audience that I haven't been able to jump in and do an episode and kind of sort of like share my journey with fasting. Um, I started intermittent fasting about almost since it's 2017, but I'm just gonna go a little bit more about the feel and the importance of why you should be fasting. For anybody who is brand new and you're watching this episode, I want to kind of sort of like jump in and tell you that here at Faster Human Podcast, the Faster Human YouTube channel, the idea to this is that you getting just basically my take, my basically what I can possibly share with you in regards of feeling better, right? So, and I'm in my mid 40s now. I'm turning 46 in another month, and I'm just excited the fact that I'm not putting so much pressure of thinking of eating and so on and so forth. But I listen to a lot of all my other people that are giving information. Dr. Mindy, Thomas Lauer, Dr. Jason Funk, so many people that I can mention in here that I can tell you can learn from. I learn from these people that definitely you get so much content from. And so if you are struggling, right, you're struggling on losing weight, you're struggling to get your energy back, there's one of the things that I ask as a trainer, as a coach, I ask how many hours of sleep are you getting every single night? Why it is so important to go to sleep? Why is it so important for you to rest? Well, listen, the reason why you go to the gym is because you want to look young. You want to look, this is going to lose weight, right? But there's a lot of factors in why your sleep can determine how much of that losing weight is going to happen. It determines why you should be definitely taking care of your body every single day in regards of sleep, right? So when you're sleeping, your body is repairing. When you're sleeping, your body is engaging. When you're sleeping, your body is getting the most out of it. What I tell people is, you're gonna have, you have your social life, you have everything, that comes around that just you can avoid, right? Some things that you can avoid with family, friends, whatever the case may be. So cheers to that. So you gotta understand that when you are not sleeping, right? The first thing when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you shouldn't be doing is like, if you are over the age of 18, going, you're an adult, you should be like the first thing eating. That will not be the best thing unless you haven't ate, for 24 hours. But other than that, one of the things that I tell people is hydrate, drink water, drink plenty of water. Hydration is key, necessary for the body. Make sure that you have that water intake. It's necessary. It is necessary. I don't know how can I possibly put it, but a lot of people lack on drinking water. They having a hard time drinking water, so they use these little powders they want to use into it. I get it, but fusion water is the best. One of the things that I tell people is like, look, the most important thing is, when you come down to drinking water is just put a little bit of like blueberries or maybe strawberries into your water, lemon. Try to try to have that kind of sort of intake of water, but it's necessary for you to have water. Yeah, if you don't like the taste of it, definitely recommend cold water in the beginning of the morning. Room temperature water is the best, but yeah, at the same time, you just gotta be able to. Uh, that's the first thing. Hydrate. That's the most important thing. Drinking a coffee with cream and sugar, that's not the best energy drink you possibly have. I suggest just black coffee. Simple as that. Just black coffee, and your life will be much better. I mean, the coffee has great properties, so then you have to be able to um, utilize this as a way to be able to kind of like, get that energy, because your body is gonna need these black coffee somewhere or another. Maybe you don't like coffee, maybe you want to have green tea and have a green tea. So somebody asked me, and this is just because I went to a 5K, right? Somebody asked me, it's like, oh my God, you haven't aged. And I'm like, wait a second, haven't seen this guy probably like in 3 or 4 years, and I can tell you, it felt good, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I work out, I'm fasting probably like 23 hours out of the day. I stay busy, try to stay busy as much as I can. And the reason why I'm telling you and sharing this with you, because I'm busy. I wake up at wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know, getting first things first. I try to do is get my own workout, because I do not have the time to jump in and actually get a workout, because I'm taking care of clients and taking care of class and stuff like that. And so try to stay busy as much as I can. So when I get home, either I'm probably a cook, or I try to maintain a still active. Try to get maybe a run, a 3 mile. Try to do cardio twice a week. That's just as much as I like to do cardio. But I like lifting weights, and so try to stay with that lifting weight part of it. So it's key, it's necessary. And for you who is brand new to fitness, probably you can never went to the gym, you're gonna need a trainer. I'm telling you this much because back in 2006, when I first signed up for my actual gym membership with my wife, it was the one thing I didn't know what to do at the gym sometimes. I mean, being known the fact that I have lifted weights, but I didn't know about programs. I don't know about techniques. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And this is one of the things I tell people. It's like, you need guidance. If you're struggling, you need guidance. You need structure. And so when you don't have a structure, the same thing. Your job has a structure for you. Your job has a structure for you. So you have to be there at 9, and you gotta get out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's just the thing about it, right? So for every system has a structure. Every system, every program has a structure to it to follow through different things. And so this is the thing that I tell people. It's like, look, you need to create a structure for yourself. You need to go to sleep, get those, 8 to 9 hours of sleep for optimal results. Get to sleep, rest. And the next thing is what time you should be eating. I'm not saying what you should be eating. I'm saying what time you should be eating. Well, maybe it's the first time. And one of the things that I said to people is like protocols with intermittent fasting are various, right? Some people go for 16:8, some people go from 18:6. But I think 18:6 will be best for somebody who is active, for somebody who is being constantly kind of moving around, having an active job. I suggest go for 18:6, 18 hours of fasting, 6-hour window of eating. And why I'm saying this is because you want to make sure that you have that control. And this is what I tell people. It's like, look, you need to control this, so that way it becomes easier when you go to the gym. It becomes easier for your job. It becomes easier in the lifestyle that you have, if you have a very crazy lifestyle. So you are in control of that. The next thing is try to avoid eating late as much as you can. Try to avoid it. One thing I learned with doing intermittent fasting and fasting, it was not to eat late. And this is one of the things I learned in the beginning, because I'm constantly was eating late because I think, hey, I need the protein and I need this and I need that. And as I would continue learning about fasting, was that eating late was not the best thing when you're, trying to go to sleep. Because we're dealing with our circadian rhythm clock. We're dealing with things like melatonin secretion. We're dealing with insulin secretion so late. And it does happen when you're gonna go out and eat with your friends, drinks, and why not? It's going to happen. It's just nothing. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. So what I tell people is like, look, if you want to make the most out of your losing weight, building muscle, it's just the consistency of you controlling that. You are in control of the time frame that basically is gonna make your life easier. Don't make it harder than what it is already is. I mean, you're working like, I don't know how many hours, but everybody's, 24 hours, everybody gets that 24 hours, right? And the most important thing is like, what time, right? I think midday is the best time to eat food, right? And try to close down your window somewhere around before 5 o'clock or around 5 o'clock. I try to keep it simple for me because of this structure, the schedule, you name it. So, so the thing about intermittent fasting or fasting is that you're doing intermittently. So the idea to setting up a time that you can be able to relax and enjoy your food is necessary. I find it so important to be able to enjoy your food, not to eat in a rush. This is what I notice a lot of people, they're running out of the door because they gotta go to work and they need to eat the coffee with cream and the sandwich and the fruits, the snacks, and that you need to have this because it's healthy. I get it. It is healthy, but it's not healthy. The time frame is not healthy. The time of consumption at the beginning of your day is not the healthiest. I mean, your insulin is low to begin with, right? You're trying to burn that excess amount of stored calories you had from the day before. So imagine that, right? You're trying to burn all those calories that you eat before because it's a store. It stores those calories. Is stored, right? Like in a bank, you will store a specific amount of calories and a specific amount of body fat. Now, so you imagine that. So you're trying to create these better habits, and creating these better habits takes time. You need to condition your body for that. You need to condition the body to get into this faster state. And this is one of the reasons why I share my own personal, because it took me a while. It took me a while to understand supplementation, understand, why I need to go to bed so early. I needed to understand those things because eventually I knew that I was going to, my body's going to change, right? As I age, right? And as you age, you don't want to put more pressure in the body. You don't want to create more stress in the body than what already has. I mean, you have a great stress when you're drinking, when you're eating, right? And when you're working out, working out is a great stress. But you're not sleeping, you're eating all through the day, that's gonna put up a demand in your body. Think about it. Your digestion system is another brain. You put a demand in your brain as it is because you gotta, work 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. But you're putting a demand into the brain, the digestion system, you're putting a demand into those things. So when somebody comes in and says like, "Yo, man, I want to build muscle," the first thing I'm gonna ask them, how many hours to sleep. Some people sleep only 5 hours, and they're waking up in the middle of the night. And that waking up in the middle of the night is a big no-no. And the reason being because you got to go to the bathroom, and probably you drink too much water right before you go to bed. Maybe you might be tied to diabetic, and that's what the reason you're going to the bathroom. You have a high blood pressure, hypertension, and that's because you have gained weight. I remember when I was 240 pounds. I remember the day I was 240 pounds, and I was constantly going to the bathroom. I didn't realize that, but I was only 34. Now looking back, I'm 46 pretty soon. I look back and I say, but this is interesting. Why is my body responding completely different now, right? I want to be in control of my body, but that's one of the things. When you're overweight, you're out of control. You're out of control. And remembering being that 240 pounds, I didn't have a feeling of letharginess and feeling that I want to go to sleep in the middle of the night, middle of the day. It was insane. Think about it. Think about it, how much of a difference it will make if you are in control of your timing. It is important because then you're in control. I know a lot of people that work in offices, they say, oh my God, there's donuts and cookies and there is bagels and stuff like that. I get it. Grab those bagels, grab those donuts and eat it later. Later when you have the time frame to eat it. Don't eat it on a rush. Don't eat it because peer pressure, there's peer pressure, right? And in your work related things that you're doing on a daily basis. Oh, you're not eating the donuts or you're not diet? I do eat donuts. Not all the time, but I do have them on occasion. I do eat bagels on occasions. But one of the things that I tell people is like, hey, remember one thing. The most important thing you need to do is your timing. And a lot of people say, well, what did you eat in 1 hour? Definitely protein. One thing I definitely have either chicken, fish, steak, something that is definitely dense, right? I do have fruits, I do have vegetables. I do definitely have a rice. People say, oh, I gotta stop eating rice. No, what you need to stop is eating it sporadically. Because eating sporadically all through the day, that's what spikes your insulin. A lot of people don't understand this, but insulin is a receptor. It's in our bodies. It's just can't get away from it. But it's a receptor. So I'll have a black coffee, it's plain black, and there's no sugar whatsoever. But if I put the sugar in this, it would change the whole idea of drinking this coffee, because sugar will spike your insulin. A lot of people don't know this. Let's say, for example, you have a pre-workout. You're gonna work out. It will spike your insulin when you have that pre-workout. You have a protein shake. It will spike your insulin because it has elements onto it. The supplementation of it has elements to it. But then we need to understand how long, right? And obviously, what we're talking about, might spike your insulin for a little bit, and then it will drop down. But spiking it all constantly, all the time, it will have an effect on your body. And this is one of the things I tell people, like we have the power to be able to regenerate, be able to stop this process. We can be able to maintain our bodies. It's possible. I do it all the time. It's a possibility to be physically fit and you're happy and content about all these things, So you are in control. You are much more aware of what you are doing every single day. So think about it. If you're starting your morning with, bagels and cream cheese, beginning of your day, hey, why not, right? But then you need to stop. You need to find a time where you need to stop and make sure that you eat your last meal is fulfilling. Fulfillment is another thing that I learned that is necessary every single time. Fulfillment is that, hey, I'm satisfied, I'm happy with it, I'm moving on, and that's it, no more. And that's one of the things that I tell people, like, listen, when you are constantly eating, you desensitize your body. Kind of sort of like, I'm eating all through the day, I'm grazing all through the day. So you're not listening to the most important thing, is your satiety hormone. And this is one of the things I know for a fact. Your satiety hormone is a hormone that it tells you, hey, if you had too much beer, it's gonna tell you stop because you're gonna puke the beer. If you had too much steak, Your body's gonna tell you stop because you're full, you're done. If you have too much rice, if you have too much pasta, your body's gonna tell you stop. It's just a moment of fulfillment. And that's one of the things I tell people is I'd rather you wait and feel fulfilled than you eating all through the day. That's because you're spiking your insulin all through the day. It's like you going to up into to this roller coaster. You're going up into the roller coaster, but it's gonna come down, and then you go back again to the roller coaster, and it's gonna come down. And so doing so all through the day is gonna have an effect in your body. Believe me, it will have an effect in your body. So imagine you're in your 40s, you're lethargic, tired, you're overweight, and you're trying to figure it out. What is happening to me? And it just happened that you are doing these things, these habits, these behaviors that you have created. A lot of people say, but Erick, I'm eating healthy. Yes, you are, but you're doing it for too long. I did it. I was eating healthy, but I was gaining. I was not losing. I was retaining this body fat because I was feeling lethargic, bloated, feeling like just you want to go to sleep, and that's when I started finding research and information. A friend of mine sent me this info about Dr. Jason Funk. I listened to Dr. Jason Funk, and and this is the things about information. Sometimes it will take you 6 months to a whole year to understand that somebody has given you that information long ago, and you didn't want to pay attention and listen to it. And this is one of the things I say, well, it is your time for you to be able to pay attention. And that's one thing that I tell people, it's like, this is your time. Because many times I sit down with clients and say, oh, somebody told me about intermittent fasting about a year ago or 6 months ago. And I didn't know that this is how it works. Yes, because now you're sitting down with a problem and the problem is right in front of you. And now you're like, now I need to take care of this. I need to take care of this as soon as possible. And yes, you need to take care of it as soon as possible, because the sooner you take care of this and the sooner you learn the process, the better it's gonna in the long term. One of the things my son said to me, Dad, why are you fasting? Well, the reason being is because I don't want anybody taking care of me. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm gonna share this right now. My son says, you see that old person who is 70 and they had they had to wipe down their behind because they can, and because they have all these issues. I don't want to be that person, but then not because I'm trying to demonize that person. What I'm trying to say is that I wanted to be able to take care of my body as much as I can. Longevity. We're talking about longevity and fasting because I want to make sure that I can be able to take care of my body, me, nobody else but me. And that's one of the things I tell people. It's like, you want to take care of your body, right? I mean, you don't want to depend on anybody. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm gonna get old. It's gonna be a point where I'm not going to be able to function. But I want to make sure that I can be able to function as long as I can. Think about it. If you go into a nursing home, you go into a hospital, and what do you think that people are doing in a hospital or in a nursing home? They are taking care of people that can take care of themselves. Think about it. So when somebody has type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and the thing has gone overboard, has gone to a level of where the body is not, you don't have no control of your body. And I've seen where people have lost their vision, they lost their limbs, they have lost their fingers. It is sad, and it could be prevented. It could be prevented. And I'm talking to you sincerely because I've seen it. It's horrifying. It's heartbreaking because, a family member and somebody I care is going through something like that. And it's not because I told you so kind of thing. It's more like, hey, you have the power to be able to make that change, right? We all do. We all have the power to make those changes. But one of the things is about prevention. What we talk about, what you're seeing on YouTube and people talking about all these supplementations that needs to be taken care of, is because there's research behind it. There's information behind it. And yeah, no, you don't want to be misleaded, or you don't want anybody. But there's people. There's one thing that I can tell people. There's people who cannot do fasting, and the few people that cannot do fasting is pregnant women, children, and definitely people with disorders like body disorders or bulimia and stuff like that. And one of the things that is important to understand about fasting is that something that is being practiced for thousands and thousands of years. Yeah, the Muslims do practice fasting. Us Christians and Catholics and all different religions do practice fasting. But it was not something that just because, and it was done because we used to be hunters and gatherers. But the most important thing that I'm trying to engage on people most of the time is get some sleep. Go to sleep, try to rest. Yes, and people say, oh, I don't want to be in my bed. Yeah, and I just got a point to where you don't want to be in your bed, after 8 hours or after 9 hours. Trust me. But the importance to this is that you are in charge. I'll talk about being in charge because one of the things is like, hey, I know this is been a struggle for you, but I want you to be in charge. Because you want to be in control. You want to be able to build muscle. You want to be able to run. You want to be able to do things with your children. You want to be able to still continue moving forward despite all the obstacles that's happening in your life. You gotta continue moving forward. So the idea to help you to get to what you're looking for is to make sure you are consistent to it. Consistency is everything. Maybe you start with one day, doing 18 hours of fasting. And maybe the following day, just regular. And then go on to another day with 18 hours. And kind of break it down in a week. You got 7 days of the week, right? And then move on for another try it out. Maybe 2 days of the week, follow up through with 18 hours. It doesn't have to be the same exact time. What I want you to do is that you want to be in control of the time, what time you eat. There's so many applications to intermittent fasting. I can tell you that I use it. I use the Life Omega app, which I suggest use it. I don't get anything whatsoever from them when it comes down to promoting it. I'm just telling you that I use it. Life Omega, I do have a group. It's called the Fasted Human group, or the Fasted Human, for the circle of trust. But then the idea to this is that I'm just want to tell you my own personal journey. I'm just telling you what I've been doing, and people say, you look young and you look good and you look, yes. And that's because I do like to work out. I do like to go to sleep. I like to rest. I like to enjoy the weather. I like to enjoy things that is going to prolong my life, trying to prolong it, right? And tomorrow is never promised, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure maintain my body to be the best version of myself. And that's basically what you do and trying to do every time you go to the gym, right? Maybe you're working out at home. I do tell you, if you can't go to the gym, work out at home. I tell people, like I said, I do have a programs through Beachbody, right? So I tell people, use a Beachbody program. What's the harm to you work out at home? If you can't get to the gym, work out at home. Because then you can utilize those things. I will have stuff in the links when you're going to the bottom of it. I will have a stuff that you can be able to click on it and be able to take advantage of it. Utilize it. I have those links available there for you, so you can just try it out. Try it out. It doesn't hurt you to be able to, listen, I can't get to the gym. You only got 30 minutes of the time to work out. Get it done at the beginning of your day. Maybe you want to do yoga and just do yoga, but do something that it promotes your body to move. It doesn't have to be weightlifting, but if you cannot lift your own body weight, obviously, right? So the idea to this is that I'm happy that I'm going through this process. I'm not the only 40-plus-year-old guy that does too fast, right? There's so many guys, I look up to several people that, they're younger than me and they're doing it and they're talk about these things that aren't necessary. you know, and I can wait to continue see what it can do for me in my 50s, you know, and I'm going through the process of, you know, I hit my 40s and I'm feeling my body's changing, right? And so I can wait to what it is actually going to do for my 50s, right? And so imagine this right now. I, I get this from people say, oh, you look young and you look good and this, yeah, yes, it feels good, but it's a lot of benefits, a lot of more benefits than just looking young. And it's just the idea of repairing your own body, taking care of your body for that process of longevity. Guys, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this process for you. Don't forget to subscribe here, and you know, I will. Thank you so much for you to be able to kind of sort of like just take a moment to do a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and so it's here. Subscribe. That's hard for you to subscribe and, you know, hit the like button. But then definitely, you know, just check it out. Give it a try, you know, and listen to the other videos that I have here at Faster Human Podcast, Faster Human YouTube. So thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Take care.